Let me show you how to make the ultimate muscle building spaghetti. In the all season, we are all trying to find ways to get our food in, make it taste good, and not be a hassle. So one of the things I use, especially as a young bodybuilder coming up, that I could easily get in was spaghetti, because I loved it as a kid, I love it as an adult, and it tastes amazing, and the meat's moist, the noodles are easy to get down, and it's a nice little mix up from your chicken and rice or beef and potatoes. So what we're gonna do is go through here on how you can make, in my opinion, the best kind of spaghetti that still allows you to stay on plan and not veer too far off and add a bunch of unwanted body fat. Pot on the stove on high, and we'll add a little bit of salt to this water. And then a touch of olive oil. Normal olive oil, just a little bit. Because it makes it taste better. Let's turn this on medium-low heat for the beef, so the pan to the right of the boiling pot of water. And we're gonna slow cook that beef, and then we're gonna add our noodles. So if you notice here, this is gluten-free. This is primarily gonna be white rice, but it also has some brown rice, corn, and a little bit of quinoa in there. So I like this because it digests way better than just your normal noodle. If you're trying to save some money, this is moderately priced. This whole box is maybe $2.50. You can get the regular spaghetti for under $1. So if you are trying to save some money, if you're in college on a budget or something crazy, this is gonna be a little bit higher price point, but this digests really well for me. I wanna measure out 112 grams of this, which is gonna bring us to 88 grams of carbs. So scale on, and we get 112 grams of noodle to give me 88 grams of carbs. Perfect, 112. All right, time to drop the pasta now that the water's boiling. All we're gonna do is dump it in, and we need 8 minutes in boiling to be al dente. Now we're gonna add the beef. This is 8 ounces of 96.4 Laurelene grass-fed beef. And again, it's not gonna sizzle because it's on lower heat. Stir the noodles just so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. And then now, we're gonna chop the beef. I really like to have this minced fine. One, so it goes down easier. I can shove a little more in my mouth that way. And two, it just reminds me of meat sauce as a kid that my mom used to make. All right, I'm gonna season it, and then I'm gonna chop some more. All right, first up, you know, my favorite, a lot of salt. Pepper. And I really heavily season this because I want it to taste very flavorful. Now, I'm putting onion powder in. You could use real onion if you wanted to. Completely up to you. Garlic. And then, new to the channel, Italian seasoning. This shows you how fucking new it is. Look, it's the fucking lid on it. I'm very heavy-handed with this Italian seasoning. Back to chopping. Give it a good mix where all that seasoning coats every bit of that beef. If you don't want beef, or if you want to keep the fat on the lower end, you could use ground turkey, like 99% lean ground turkey. I've done this with chicken before, and I've honestly done it with steak too, and it's really good. So lots of things you can do meat-wise if you wanted another route other than beef. And you can still season it the exact same way. Or let's say your meal plan doesn't call for fat that you get in this beef. You could make this super low fat by changing the protein source. And again, that has very little cook-off. We're actually gonna leave that little bit of fat in there. We're not gonna strain it. So again, you can see how fine that's chopped up. This is gonna make it super easy to use a big ass spoon and shovel it in. And we'll turn that temperature down because it's already done. And I still have 2 minutes on the noodles before we have to strain them and add that as well as the pasta sauce. So there's lots of different pasta sauces you can use. This one is really great in my opinion because it tastes good, but then also it's no sugar added, 100% olive oil. Now, I'm gonna flip this around. Take a look at those ingredients list. It's tomatoes, olive oil, salt, onions, carrot, spices, garlic powder. There's nothing bad in there. And we're gonna use a half a cup because that's gonna give us roughly 13 grams of carbs. Oh, thank God I was right. Pure fucking memory. I'm gonna go ahead and measure this sauce and drop that. And then we'll add the noodles on top and then stir it and then put a lid on it to seal that in. So half a cup, perfect. Noodles are done, turn the eye off. We're gonna grab these noodles and strain them in the sink. No stick. That's what the benefit of that little bit of olive oil will do, as well as that salt in the pan. So now all we're gonna do, drop the noodles right on top, and then stir this wonderful magic all together. You know, one of the biggest things they say about eating healthy is that the food's gonna be dry and bland. There is gonna be nothing dry or bland about this meal. Lid on the top, low to simmer, 2 minutes. Okay, so while that meat simmers, I'm gonna put some Ezekiel bread or sprouted grain bread into the toaster here. A couple sprays of spray butter. And then all we'll do, touch of garlic. Perfect. Into the toaster oven. Hopefully it'll come out at the same time. Spaghetti is ready. Let's drop in a bowl. Okay, perfect. Make sure we get every scrap of meat in there. Don't want to lose any of that protein. All right, now it's just ready. About 30 seconds left on that bread. All right, bread is ready. Taking a photo because, you know, if you don't, did it happen? The answer is fuck yes, it happens. This is still gonna go in my fucking stomach. Idiots. Time to eat. Great freaking meal. So you can see, smashed down the hatch. If you want to be less carbs, just obviously don't eat the bread, cut the noodles in half. If you need more protein, just add more beef. Simple as that. If you need more fat, you could put some grass-fed butter on that toast, or you could even put some olive oil and cook that in your meat. So it'd be a really good way to, if you want to bump those numbers up even more, you could obviously double the noodles, double the bread if you wanted to go a huge meal. So bodybuilding spaghetti done right, grass-fed beef, rice noodles, and some Ezekiel bread toast. Thanks for following along, guys. If you want to like, share, and subscribe, and even post some cool videos of you making this yourself, that'd be great.